In this video, I'd like to present the administrative details of the WebGIS course. This is what you're seeing on the screen now is our Blackboard course management system, which will be the focus point for the course since we don't get to see each other in person necessarily. So let me go over what the content of the content folder is. First thing on the list, which I'll go over more in a few minutes, is the course outline. I also have two web maps that I've included here for examples for you to look at very early in the course. That's why they're near the top, so that you can get an idea of what can be done using WebGIS. This is a project, a park mapping system that I've created myself, and this is one that I found online, which is a very, very effective interactive one, and I'll assign those for you to view. Moving down the screen a bit, we see a listing called All the Videos, and these are all the videos that are part of the course so far. I may be adding a few to this list as time goes on, most likely additional ones at the end, but these are the existing videos. As you examine the document called Weekly Lessons, which I haven't loaded yet apparently, it will give you instructions on which of these videos to watch each particular week. And it looks like a lot of videos, but for the most part they're about 10 minutes long for several reasons. The limits on my account and my software, and because that's about the length of intense concentration on a single topic, so they're not too long. Additional folders in the content section, one is called Datasets, in which and you'll be given instruction on how to access, view, use, and put all these data sets in the cloud. But these are just a handful of what I have found to be just useful teaching examples, data sets. That's what's in there. I have a folder that has a number of readings in it, which I'll assign periodically. I have a executable to load Google Earth onto your own computer if you choose to do that. I have instructions about how to write our course essay. That'll be much later, and something that you can't see yet, which I'm holding back. So that is what's the content of this particular folder. Take a brief pause. Sorry, I needed a moment. The most important document in for this video and presenting administratively is to show you the course outline. So I will, and that is basically the constitution or the governing document of the course. There's all the instructions, the grading, the meeting times, and everything else, the procedures, the content. So we can take a look at that now, and you can also look at that. And this is it. Oh, it does say spring of 17. I do have office hours, but those tend to be office hours in my office, and you're welcome to visit me then. I know several of you are on campus, so that you are able to visit me in person to discuss any project or to get individual instruction or whatever you need. You can also, and I believe I sent a link recently that links you to a spreadsheet on Google Drive where you can sign up for a half-hour slot of time so that you can guarantee I'll be here and I'll be ready for you. You can put your name down and what you need on that document, but please give me a little bit of lead time because I only periodically cycle through my all of my appointments, and you know, if you sign up an hour before, I might miss that. I communicate very extensively through email. As you probably are guessing, I put together new material and release it every Monday afternoon, as I'm doing right now. This is our course description here which talks about the various softwares we're going to use. As important as the softwares we're going to use are the principles of WebGIS, and specifically how it differs from a desktop traditional doing things in person type of software. You all are obviously have met the prerequisites, and either you're known to me or you have some experience and you're ready to go. Each week we'll have a different topic, a couple of larger topics span over 2 weeks, and this is our course schedule. So each week there will be a number of new videos to watch, more likely than not a small assignment, and perhaps a place to make some commentaries about what you've done. Posting on Monday. I do have some learning outcomes which derive pretty directly from the course outline. I do have a grading strategy of sorts. I'll have a very brief midterm quiz online, maybe 20 minutes or so, just to give you a chance to show off the stuff you've learned to date. There will be an online final exam, which will be a substantial exercise, which will run at least an hour, and we will schedule that and figure out the methods for doing that a little bit later. I guess I've decided I'm going to have 7 assignments, which 1, 2, 3, 4, there seem to be about 7 topics in my view of substantial enough topics that warrant a small hand-in exercise, small but substantial. And then a very, very important point for the course is I would like each person in the course to develop a personally meaningful project, a web map or a web map of some sort which serves a meaningful purpose that's important to you. To me, one that I made that was important was my mapping of the Parma Town Park, and now that mapping is available to anybody anywhere on any device, including a phone in the park itself as you get lost on the back trail or want to know the quickest way to the disc golf course or anything like that. So I would like you to start thinking of a personally meaningful project, whether it might happen to be a teaching activity, and WebGIS is extremely appropriate for teachers as a way to deliver content and engage students in looking at anything that has any relation to geography. So that's the grading and assessment. Grading standards, I put this in everywhere, all my course outlines, and it sounds tough, so nobody can ever complain. Graduate students, I have one. I will contact you and we'll discuss what I mean by having a more complex final project, or if anybody ends up grouping together for their personally meaningful project, perhaps the grad student can be more of a leadership role. The standard attendance policy, and that this is the attendance in this course means sometime in the first few days after this material comes out, you have a look at it and watch the videos, etc. It's not quite the same as going to class. If anybody has any restrictions that need to be worked out, please let me know. I'm a strong believer in academic honesty, but I'm also a very strong believer in collaborative work. So if you have any interest in learning through anybody else, that's fine, as long as you are truly learning and not just copying. So at the higher level, there is a sort of a gray area between working together and learning from each other or from other people and actually cheating in some way. Cheating is usually distinguished by when you've handed something in, but it's not your own work or you don't understand what you've written. That's a sure sign that there's a problem. Obviously, communications. I do communicate by email and by announcements on the web page. If there's any issue on gender discrimination or sexual harassment that you experience in any way, there's ways to deal with that. And here's our course or our semester calendar, which rolls right through to May 19th when I turn in the grades. So that's the overview for today, or for the course outline, and this you'll be viewing as one of the steps of the weekly assignment that I will point you to via an email. This web type of course instruction is weird in a way that sometimes a video refers to a document which points back to the video. It's kind of like some sort of an Escher-like thing, but you'll be able to soon understand this. I also wanted to point out that sometime during this week I'm going to set up something called a conference room for the course, which allows me to communicate with you, share screens, and talk. And I don't have a camera on my computer, so you can't see me, but we can talk through headphones and microphones, which is probably you have available. And you'll be able to show me your screen, and I'll be able to view your screen. And that's a way in which anybody who doesn't actually, who's not able to, or just for convenience doesn't want to bother visiting me in my office to look at something. The room strategy or the room technique is very useful, and I believe I have a video that shows how to use it. I'll hold that until I actually set it up for use. But that's this video for right now, and just need to figure out how to turn it off.